Hello guys, welcome back. Now today, I want to talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, their struggles, and the struggles that they've had lately, especially lately. They've been really struggling, and I want to talk about it. Now, the Columbus Blue Jackets are 29, 25, and 5. They may not seem all that bad until you realize they're 5th in the Metro Division. They're 1 point out of the playoffs, but I think a couple of teams have games in hand. The guys that are ahead of them, like Carolina, New York, but they got a couple of teams, a couple of hurdles to jump over. They're 2-6-2 in the last 10. Again, not that great at all. Really struggling. They've lost 3 straight games to boot, not making it any better for themselves. And they now have a minus 12 goal differential in the year, which really sucks for them. They have some key holes though. I just got one simple fix for them. Just fire both the penalty kill coach and the power play coach, because obviously it's not working. Their power play is at 14%. Their penalty kill is at 75%. That is brutal. That's Edmonton Oilers brutal right there. Absolutely horrendous. I don't know why they keep going with what they're going, because obviously it's not getting any better. It's not doing anything, and nobody's really working. It's not gelling at all, and both the power play and the penalty kill are absolutely horrendous. Now, they are still a good 5-on-5 team. If they're over 500 and they have this bad of a penalty kill and power play, they are a decent team 5-on-5. They have those 2 gaping holes, though, on that special teams that are really holding them back from becoming a better situated going into the playoffs, and they really are struggling right now. And those holes for them are getting just exposed extremely this past couple of games. And teams know that they kind of pedestrian and really bad on the power play and the penalty kill, so they're really exploiting that. Now, they were in a good position early in the year. That was when Bobrovsky was Vezina candidate, Vezina for sure candidate. Bobrovsky, but now he's kind of fallen back. He's at a .918 save percentage now. Really kind of dropped off these past couple of months now. It's really sad to see, because Bobrovsky is not playing the greatest hockey that he's ever played. He does like to start off really strong and get kind of pedestrian towards the end of the season. But he is usually a guy who starts out strong, and he really did this year, and it's a shame to see him fall off like he has. He hasn't played terribly though, but the team in front of him has really been not that great throughout the whole season defensively, and that's been a key theme for them throughout the whole year. But now Bobrovsky isn't saving games for them and not getting the wins that he really needs to. So now the Jackets don't really have a bright spot. Now they kind of pedestrian in a lot of things now, and that's really been exposed. For Nick Foligno, he's not doing too bad. Now, Cam Atkinson, the guy who was extended for like 7 years, well, he has 21 points in, I think it's like 50, somewhere near the ballpark of 50 games, and that's really bad for what he was expected to do and what he's been used to doing. Atkinson is a great player, but he's really fallen off this season, and he hasn't been all that great. He hasn't been consistent at all either, and really, Atkinson has really underperformed, and that's really sad, because the moment that contract was signed, the moment that extension was signed, I was kind of iffy about it, because Atkinson wasn't playing the best at the time, and I don't really think he deserves it. But now that contract is going to be terrible, especially if Atkinson can't recapture what he was going to do before the season. And if Atkinson continues to play like this guy, 40-point guy, being paid $5 million, it's really going to be, I'm going to say, a huge hole in their lineup, but it would be a very bad contract that I think I didn't even agree with at the time, but now it even looks worse. Bruce Jenner with 17 points, which I thought he was going to take that next big step forward this year. He really hasn't done that. I think he's on pace for like 30 points, if that. And that's really sad, because I do like Bruce Jenner, but he really has underperformed this season. And he was expected to be this kind of top 6 guy, and he really hasn't been that this season, which sucks. I do like him, but he's vastly underperformed. And just a depressing stat overall, Josh Anderson, I do like him. He has a great shot, but he has 17 goals. Now, that's good, but he's leading the team in goals. That's pretty sad. I think Panarin is 1 goal behind him at 16, but still, 17 goals really shouldn't be your leader. That is a great amount of goals, but 17 is kind of pedestrian compared to some other teams, and they really need some more goal support there, and they really aren't getting it. But Josh Anderson is having a great season. Good for him, but he really shouldn't be leading on that team. It's pretty sad there. And their defense has been good on the point streak. Seth Jones is playing fantastic this season. Texas-born guy, let's go. You got Zach Werenski, who has played well this season as well. Their defense overall is getting lots of points, and they're pretty much the backbone of the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're a good defense. They're not fantastic, but overall, offensively, they're still pretty decent. You got the 2 guys, Werenski and Jones. Those guys are amazing, 2 American-born guys. But defensively, they're not too great. They don't have the depth necessarily. They don't have the greatest depth there. They could really use a guy at the deadline. I don't know who that would be necessarily, but they could definitely use somebody. But overall, I'd say the Columbus Blue Jackets have a good shot at making the playoffs, especially if they acquire a couple of guys at the deadline. Don't sell at all. They have a good shot because they're only 1 point out of the playoffs. Even though they're a couple of games behind in the games played, they can still make up that ground. It's not too hard, especially when it's like a 1-2 point difference. They just got to win games, plain and simple. But if they can realize Bobrovsky getting back to Vezina candidate level, that defense still being as good as ever, and the offense finally waking up for them, they can go on a run as they did last year and make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure of that. Now, the playoffs are a different story, how they do there, but I think that they can make the playoffs if they want to. Now, going back to the stats, they have Dubois, who they drafted 3rd overall a couple of years ago. He's played well. He has 28 points, and he's kind of breaking out this season. Kind of underrated, but he has played well this season, getting off points, both assists and goals. He has played very well. He is a little bit of a shining light there. He will be a good second-line center, maybe even first-line center potentially of their future. He could be very, very good. He is still pretty young, if he's like 20 or 21, and he has played well enough to be an NHL player, and he'd be a very good one. Now, I think the Blue Jackets could definitely benefit from a guy like Rick Nash, but again, there's lots of other guys in the market. They could definitely benefit from a trade deadline, a couple of good moves there, make a couple of smart moves, get some forward depth, get some more star power on that forward group, because obviously stuff isn't working right now. Maybe get us a couple of defensemen that go on the penalty kill, make that penalty kill a bit better, and of course, fire your special teams coaches. They really have no business in the NHL with the sets that they're putting up, and you should just be good. I mean, you need to get a couple of guys to stabilize those special teams, because right now it's definitely not working. I really do think the Blue Jackets are 1 or 2 steps away at the deadline. A couple of trades here and there from being in the playoff spot and, of course, making the playoffs. They aren't far behind. If they can catch up on New York or Carolina, they can get in a playoff spot pretty easily then. And they just really need a couple of spare parts, a couple of guys that will fit in and play well for the special teams, and I really do think that they can make the playoffs. I wouldn't say easily, but a lot smoother than what they've been doing. And I think a lot of people know that the Blue Jackets are better than team than this, and even the Blue Jackets know that too. They just need to play better than what they've done and actually play their potential, because if they do, they can have another 100-point season, but that's long gone. But if they can actually play a lot better and play like they're supposed to be, they can be a lot better and, of course, make the playoffs. I think that they are really underperforming for what they should be doing, and maybe a couple of spare parts, maybe a wake-up call needs to happen. Something just needs to be changed, and something can actually help them, because they're kind of spiraling right now, and they really do need some help. But there's a frustrating team because they're losing close games, they're playing well, but they maybe just need a couple of spare parts and a couple moves to make it the deadline, and I think they'll be fine. That's good, guys. Like, subscribe, have not ring that bell if you haven't, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.